there with a whole lot of confidence and knowing when you have a corner like that too.
All right, into the cage. Pete Trevino going to call out the next fighters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a little explanation on our next matchup. For those of you that have never been to a Michigan Extreme Combat Sports event, Michigan Extreme Combat Sports
are you going to score it?
Mixed martial arts, whatever they may be, and they are one of the only organizations to bring you different styles inside the cage. Not only do you see mixed martial arts at its fullest and finest, but you also see sometimes kickboxing or grappling matches or even jiu-jitsu matches. And one of those is coming up right now, ladies and gentlemen. Your next matchup is a grappling match. So here we go. Senior grapplers. First, making his way out to the red corner, please welcome Mickey Marsack.
All right, here we go. As we said, this is a grappling match, so Mickey Marsack coming out here. Fight style is a jits guy, which is going to help in a grappling match, Steve. He represents Team Blackout, and he's out of Detroit. He is a current champ in his MMA divisions as well.
We've had a chance to see Mickey fight a bunch of times, and he is always prepared very, very strongly. 15 minutes is an eternity.
You know, and he's coming in here a lot bigger than his opponent, and that was the one thing that his opponent had said, like, I know the guy's bigger than me. That's basically what I know about him.
Well, here's the interesting challenge that's going to present, and we'll get into that as soon as Pete calls out Anthony Mychael.
And his opponent making his way out to the blue corner. Please welcome Anthony Mychael.
Well, Anthony Mychael coming to us out of Jackson. He's about 11-5 as an MMA fighter, but he's again stepping up tonight to have this grappling match. Just said, he's a little concerned that his opponent is that much bigger, but he wanted to make sure he could get in here and actually get some work. And as you were saying, what the problem they present.
With the weight difference and the way they're scoring this matchup, it's a 15-minute grappling match. They're only scoring the last 5 minutes. So for 10 minutes, that 20-pound weight difference is slowly grinding Anthony Mychael down. And then he's going to have to sing for his supper with 5 minutes remaining to start scoring points.
Well, that might grind down the audience, too, if they're coming here to see some beat down. So 15 minutes seems like an eternity.
I think it was originally scheduled for 5, but we need to fill some guard time.
Well, Anthony Mychael making his way into the cage. Weighed about 142, whereas Mikey coming in at 160.
Anthony Mychael fighting out of Jackson. Jackson makes martial arts. Quincy Rice has been around this game forever. You throw him up there in the old school mention of guys like Don Richard and Brad Burke and Dan Cousineau. Those guys have been around for a long, long time. At one time, many of them trained together under a guy named Walt Lamb at Metro Fight Club. And they had a chance to make some hay back in the early days of MMA when it was still no-holds-barred fighting.
Oh, my God, that stuff's insane.
All right, let's go into the cage. Pete Trevino Jr. with your official.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This grappling match is being brought to you by Vicels. Introducing your grapplers first. Grappling out of the red corner, wearing black trunks. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, he weighed in at 160 pounds. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist representing Team Blackout. He comes to the cage with a record of 26 wins and 6 losses, with all 26 wins coming by way of submission. Fighting out of and representing the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Mickey the Madman Marsack. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner. Sponsored by Rapid Refill Inc. and Nutrition Done Right. Trained by Quincy Rice. He is a butt-flop jitsu specialist. Fighting out of Jackson MMA and Team Spartan. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, he weighed in at 142 pounds. He lists his record as 84 wins and 7.5 losses. Fighting out of Jackson, Michigan, here is the MECS Flyweight Champion, the PCFL Flyweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony the Mongoose Mychael.
And that's a great nickname for Anthony Mychael because he certainly moves like it, especially when he gets down on the cage floor.
Or you can take it away, Steve.
Well, 15 minutes, I'm not flying solo here, so. Well, seriously, I'm looking for a lot of these guys to conserve energy for the first 10 minutes here.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you, right? But then again, you could just be Mickey and just say, I'm just going to use my weight on this guy, make him carry me around for 10 minutes.
Well, that's a great strategy. Sit there on top of him, driving all that weight on top of him for 10 minutes. You know, right now, Anthony Mychael, with the half guard, he needs to get that left underhook working and continue to turn to his right side to take that pressure off. Also give him some options. And Mickey Marsack, on the other hand, trying for the cross body ride over there. Got the arm under the head, pinning the shoulder down. There's the underhook and onto the side. Not really much danger of getting caught in a choke there. It's because his underhook wasn't very deep. There's no way to start hitting that darts, but definitely has to be aware of it, and he certainly is here as we get mobile.
So what do you have to take advantage of if you're the guy that's 20 pounds lighter? What's kind of your strategy coming in?
You have to constantly be moving out from under your opponent, and you have to stay as round as you can so that the guy on top is always on a rolling ball. He's on a sphere that continually moves. If he gets straightened out and flattened out, then it gets a little tougher. See, he goes back in the ball, and just a nice reversal on the sweep there. Got to watch this guillotine, but right now off to the side here, there's nothing more than an annoyance there. Mickey Marsack trying to turn it into a bit of a jaw lock as he rolls it through. Tough to see from this angle, but other than the discomfort of it, not much of a threat there. Now going to try to turn it into a jaw lock and start working on the neck crank here, and Marsack squeezing for all he's worth.
Is he ever? Look at his face.
Yeah, that might come back to haunt him in the last 5 minutes of this fight.
Might gas out using all that energy now.
Now here's the problem with submission grappling with a long time limit and no stalling. These guys can sit here like this for 10 minutes and neither of them use a whole lot of energy.
So go get a beer, is that what you're saying for the first 10?
I'd never get up and leave. Absolutely, because you watch stuff like this, just the methodical work ethic of Anthony Mychael, continually trying to turn to his side and sink that underhook. Just keep the pressure off of him. Right now, the biggest danger for him is an inability to get good breath because Marsack just keeping it nice and flat. And so every time this happens, you see where Mickey is right across the diaphragm. That shortens the breath of Anthony Mychael. And as this match wears on, that weight difference in fatigue becomes an issue.
That's the funny thing. It's hard enough in these sports to be able to, manage your breathing, let alone having someone on your diaphragm.
Now here's where the different energy management systems come in. Nice heel hook attempt here. Mickey, got to be careful. I'll tell you, Anthony's got those knees tightened up. He needs to get his butt closer to Mickey's. As the distance between their hips increased, it became tougher and tougher to set that heel hook. And that's exactly how Mickey was able to squirrel out of that. Coming up on top now with a turtle to Anthony Mychael. As they just play chess here in this MECSK.
Now talk to me about the level of the jits you're looking at right here.
Right now it's fairly high, methodical, and thought out, but you're not seeing any explosive movements. Both of these guys are worried about the weight portion of this contest, so they're going to just continue to play this. And if one of them makes a mistake, then the other's going to take advantage of it. But what they're really trying to do is just wear each other out. Anthony's got to be real careful right now when he makes this transition, trying to get himself off of his back and into guard. He's actually in better shape now than he was then, because he set himself up to get caught as he transitioned. Looking to dig under there, get that arm. Got to be careful he doesn't let that arm get isolated. Needs to get back to a flat back from this position, and then work to turn to the other side where he's got sort of a corner guard working right now.
Now, do you think that when you have 10 minutes before they're even scoring points, you're not going to really necessarily show your opponent everything you have, just kind of try and mitigate damage?
That's a possibility, but both of these guys, as good as they are, they've got egos that go along with being that good. And you want to impose your will on your opponent. You want to beat your opponent. See, now there was a nice transition. He switched it back and forth, managed to dig that underhook, and now this is very high level, this escape he just used. You just got to be careful. He's trying to turn it into a positional advantage. He'd have been better just to separate and start over. Cage side going to cause him a little bit of grief here, doing a good job though. This time he's not going to let Mickey turn through. He got caught in this position last time, and you hear everyone yelling, "Von Flew, Von Flew." He's got to drive that shoulder down, squeeze his elbows together, and Mickey felt it coming, gave up on that head. Nice. That's just a basic jiu-jitsu sweep, and Mickey executed it absolutely with precision.
Now, when you see the level of jits here, do you wish you were watching them in an MMA fight and incorporating
no, because once
that?
you start getting punched in the head,
you change everything.
Absolutely.
It's got to be such a different mindset when you're coming in for an MMA fight versus a jits match,
and
grappling
there are
match.
things that both of these guys are doing that are very good high-level jiu-jitsu, and you would never do it in a situation.
Because it's too risky, right, of getting hit?
Not too risky. You guarantee you're going to get hit. Excellent. Just turn his hips through there, pull guard, and that's where the size difference really helps Mickey Marsack out. You know, it was real hard for Anthony just to get the weight down to keep that from happening. Now you can see Mickey just on a flat back, conserving energy. Anthony Michael in a guard there. No downward pressure on Mickey, also trying to conserve energy. Oh, that started as a really nice sweep. It turned into Anthony Michael almost giving up his back. And there it is, really nice transition. It looked like Anthony Michael was about to just pass the guard, but it was absolutely a bait and switch. He drove that knee through, sort of a baseball slide pass there, and Mickey was absolutely waiting for it. Anthony Michael would have been better off just staying on his back there.
You know, we talk so much about fighters getting experience, you know, in tournaments and stuff. What is the advantage? You hear so much of pushing, have some gi experience. Now, tell me, what do you learn when you have that gi experience, and how you can use it in the MMA fight?
Gi submission grappling requires that you are incredibly technical, especially from a defensive standpoint. Without a gi, if you're in the guard, you can get away with putting your hand or your elbow on the mat. If you do it with the gi on, that's it. The fight is over if your guy can tie his own shoes. So it forces you to increase your technical expertise. It just translates into much better and tighter positioning on the mat. Mickey Marsack able to
pull that rear naked choke off, and you know, we'll see Anthony how much he has left to keep going. Kind of winded him a little bit, and I think that'd be the tricky thing if you were being submitted. I mean, constantly, and I guess they're going to call it right there.
Well, no points. Just go to first submission or points in the last 5 minutes. And I'll tell you what, this is absolutely a wonderful aspect of this organization. Michigan Extreme Combat Sports. Kevin Wittenberg, his school, his philosophy, he's going to promote all aspects.
Oh, I love that. You know, and you're getting a more educated audience, right? So they know what they're looking at. It's not something where they just really don't know what they're looking at.
Into the cage, Pete Trevino Jr. with your official MECS decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for both of the grapplers in this cage. Your tap out came at 7 minutes and 5 seconds. By rear naked choke submission, your winner, Mickey, the Madman Marsack. All right, Mickey, congratulations. I know you do it all. You do mixed martial arts, grappling, kickboxing, and everything. So congratulations for your win right here in the kick cage. There's your camera right there. Say what you got to say to everyone watching on TV and in attendance today.
Hey, I gotta thank everybody coming out, giving to this charity. I gotta thank my sister's husband Steve, Scotty, little nephew Shane, my girlfriend for coming out. Thanks for coming out, guys.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Mickey Madman Marsack.
It's fun to watch that. I just think, and it's really fun to learn that. It just fascinates me.
When you see it at a high level, strength is being applied through technique, not in spite of technique, it really is incredible to watch.
I think that, and those guys put on a good show for the crowd here too.
Well, in just a little bit, we're going to actually see some kickboxing, and you know, as opposed to the traditional time-filling kickboxing match.